Hello learners, hello video viewers, hello my dear Indians. Ajay Sharma welcome you to my this session once more. As you know that we have started a series to improve our English to the advanced level. In order to keep that session on, I have again brought a new chapter to you. So I hope you will be watching, sharing, commenting, as well as you will be watching the whole video in one go so that you can understand the whole story of the chapter, and you can also understand the meaning of the difficult words and add those words in your vocabulary to improve your vocabulary. So I hope this is a best way of improving yourself. So I hope you will be doing so. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe and be the member of this journey, and keep watching and keep growing with us and keep going with us. So come, let us get started from here without wasting our time. Here we go. I have picked this chapter up from the 12th standard book, Prose, and I will go through the whole chapter while explaining some difficult words, and whatever I find that this is very difficult, so I will explain and elaborate that thing meanwhile. And so our journey will we continue. So come, let us get started from here. The interview. Christopher Sylvester. Have a look about the author. Christopher Sylvester, 1959, was a student of history of Peterhouse, Cambridge. So he was the student of history. So Peterhouse, Cambridge. So Cambridge is a university in London, and another famous university is Oxford. So these two universities are very famous in London. So I hope you will be aware of London. London is the capital city of UK, United Kingdom. Okay, so he was a reporter for Private Eye for 10 years and has written Features of Vanity Fair. Following is an excerpt taken from his introduction to the Penguin Book of Interviews, an anthology from 1859 to the present day. So anthology means the collection of literature or the study of literature, anthology. And excerpt means an extract, ansh, you can say. So this chapter is an excerpt taken from Penguin Book of Interviews. Okay, so this is a nutshell of the chapter. So have a look about the lesson. The interview of Christopher Sylvester is an excerpt taken from his Penguin Book of Interviews. In this, he talks about various opinions of the celebrities regarding an interview, its functions, methods, and merits. It also consists of an excerpt from an interview with the famous writer Umberto Eco. Infamous writer Umberto Eco. So, infamous means very notorious. A person who is infamous, it means he is not famous. He is very notorious, kukhyat. Okay, he is famous but negatively. Okay, so this is the first part of the lesson. Have a look. Since its invention a little over 130 years ago, the interview has become a commonplace for journalism. So commonplace means very ordinary or very journal. It is very journal. It is known by everyone. It is very known. Okay. Today, almost everybody who is literate will have read an interview at some point of their lives. Here literate means educated. Who is educated or literate will have read an interview at some point of their lives, while from the other point of view, several thousand celebrities have been interviewed over the years, some of them repeatedly. So it is hardly surprising that opinions of the interview, of its functions, methods, or merits vary considerably. Some might make quite extravagant claims for it. Here, extravagant. Extravagant means exaggeration. There is two meanings of this exaggerant. This word, extravagant means vagabond, a person who you can say who wanders here and there without any purpose. So he is said to be an extravagant person. Okay, what here extravagant means exaggeration. So make quite exaggeration or extravagant claims for it as being, in its highest form, a source of truth, and in its practice, an art. Others, usually celebrities, who see themselves as its victims, might despise the interview as an unwanted intrusion into their lives. An unwarranted intrusion. Unwarranted. Here, intrusion means to butt in. To butt in, it means somebody is entering one's life without their permission or without any warrant. Okay, inwarrant intrusion into their lives. वलात प्रवेश यू कैन से, विदाउट परमिशन, प्रवेश करना विदाउट किसी चीज़ के परमिशन के, बिना बिना वारंट के. तो अनवारंटेड इंट्रूजन इनटू देयर लाइव्स, और फील दैट it somehow diminishes them. Diminishes means to diminish. Diminish them, it means to reduce or to vanish. Diminishes them, just as in some primitive cultures. Primitive cultures means very ancient cultures, antique cultures, or you can say very old primitive cultures. It is believed that if one takes a photographic portrait of somebody, then one is stealing that person's soul. V.S. Naipaul feels that some people are wounded by interviews and lose a part of themselves. Lewis Carroll, the creator of in Wonderland, was said to have had a just horror of the interviewer, and he never consented to be interviewed. It was his horror of being lionized, which made him thus repel would-be acquaintances. Interviewers and the persistent petitioners from his autograph. Autograph means signature. The autograph, and he would afterwards relate the stories of his success in silencing all such people with much satisfaction and amusement. Rudyard Kipling expressed an even more condemnatory attitude towards the interviewer. His wife, Caroline, writes in her diary for 14 October 1892 that their day was wrecked by two reporters from Boston. She reports her husband as saying to the reporters, "Why do I refuse to be interviewed? Why do I refuse to be interviewed? Because it is immoral." It means unethical, immoral. It is a crime, just as much as a crime as a offense against my person, and as an assault. Assault means attack. As an assault, and just as much merits punishment. It is cowardly and vile. Vile means unpleasant. Not respectable men, no respectable man would ask it, much less give it. Yet Kipling had himself perpetrated such as assault on Mark Twain only a few years before. H.G. Wells is in an interview in 1894 referred to the interviewing ordeal, but was a fairly frequent interviewee, and 40 years later found himself interviewing Joseph Stalin. Saul Bellow, who has consented to be interviewed on several occasions, nevertheless once describes interviews as being like thumbprint on his windpipe. Yet, despite the drawbacks means setbacks, or you can say hurdles, or you can say drawbacks. Okay, drawbacks or setbacks, or disadvantage or demerits, you can also say, of the interview. It is a supremely supremely serviceable medium of communication. These days, more than at any other time, our most of vivid impressions of our contemporaries are through interviews. Dennis Brain has written almost everything of moment reaches us through one man asking questions of another. Because of this, the interviewers hold a position of unprecedented power and influence. Here, unprecedented means which have never happened before. मतलब अभूतपूर्व you can say. In Hindi we can say अभूतपूर्व, unprecedented power and influence. Here part 2 starts from here. I am a professor who writes novels on Sundays. Umberto Eco. The following is an excerpt or extract from an interview of Umberto Eco. The interviewer is Padmana, Padmanabhan, Mukunda Padmanabhan from The Hindu. The Hindu is a newspaper. You are, I hope you are aware of it. The Hindu is a newspaper. So Mukunda Padmanabhan from The Hindu. Umberto Eco, a professor at University of Bologna in Italy, had already acquired a formidable reputation as a scholar of his ideas and semiotics. Semiotics means the study of science. You can say semiotics, or you can say dakshata. Semiotics is literary interpretations and aesthetics medieval aesthetics before he turned to writing fiction. Literacy, literary fictions, academic texts and essays, children's books, newspaper articles. His written output is staggeringly large and wide-ranging. In 1980, he acquired the equivalent of intellectual super stardom with the publication of the name of the rose, which sold more than 10 million copies. So Mukund, the English Mukund, the English novelist and academic David Lodge once remarked, "I cannot understand how one man can do all the things he does." Eco does. So Umberto Eco, maybe I give the impression of doing my things, but in the end, I am convinced I am always doing the same thing. Mukunda, which is uh, now that is more difficult to explain. I have some philosophical interest and I pursue them through my academic work and my novels. Even my books for children are about non-violence and peace. You see, some bunch of ethical, philosophical interests, and then I have a secret. Did you know what will happen if you eliminate the empty spaces from the universe? Eliminate the empty spaces in all the atoms. Eliminate the empty spaces in all the atoms. The universe will become as big as my fist. Okay. Similarly, we have a lot of empty spaces in our lives. I call them inters interstices. Interstices. Say you are coming over to my place. You are in a elevator, and while you are coming up, I am waiting for you. This is an interstice, an empty space. I work in empty spaces while waiting of your elevator to come up from the first to the third floor. I have already written an article. Mukunda. Not everyone can do that, of course. Your non fictional writing, your scholarly work has a certain playful and personal quality about it. It is a marked departure from a regular academic style, which is invariably dispersonalized and then dry and boring. Have you consciously adopted an informal approach, or is it something that just come naturally to you? When I presented my first doctoral dissertation in Italy, one of the professors said scholars learn a lot of a certain subject, then they make a lot of false hypotheses. Then they correct them, and at the end, they put the conclusions. You, on the contrary, told the story there of your research, even including your trials and errors. And at the same time, he recognized I was right and went on to publish my dissertation as a book, which meant he appreciated it. At the point, at the age of 22, I understood scholarly books should be written the way I had done, by telling the story of the research. This is why my essay always have a narrative aspect, and this is why probably I started writing narratives novels so late, at the age of 50, more or less. I remember that my dear friend Ronald Worthes, Ronald Worthes was always frustrated, and that he was an essayist and not a novelist. No, not a novelist. He wanted to do creative writings one day and or another, but he died before he could do so. I never felt this kind of frustration. I started writing novels by accident. I had nothing to do one day, so I started novels. Probably satisfied my taste for narration. Okay, talking about novels. From being a famous academic, you went on to becoming spectacularly famous after the publications of The Name of the Rose. You have written five novels against many more scholarly works of non-fiction, at least more than 20 of them, right? No, over 40. Yes, over 40. Over 40. Among them, a seminal piece of work of semiotics. But ask most people about Umberto Eco, and they will say, "Oh, he is a novelist." Does that bother you? Does that bother you? Yes, because I consider myself a university professor who writes novels on Sundays. It is not a joke. I participate in academic conferences and not meetings of pen clubs and writers. I identify myself with the academic community. But okay, if they most people have read only the novels, I know that by writing novels I reach a large audience. I cannot accept to have 1 million readers with stuff of semiotics. Which brings me to my next question. The name of the rose is a very serious novel. It is a detective yarn at one level, but it also de- de- delves into metaphysics, theology, and medieval history. Yet, it enjoyed a huge mass audience. Were you were you puzzled at all by this? Were you puzzled at all by this? No, journalists are puzzled. No, journalists are puzzled, and sometimes publishers, and this is because journalists and publishers believe that people like trash and doesn't don't like difficult reading experiences. Consider there is there are 6 billion people on this planet. The Name of the Rose sold between one oh sorry 100 sorry 10 and 15 million copies. So in a way I reached only a small percentage of readers, but it is exactly these kinds of readers who don't want easy experiences, or at least don't always want this. I myself at 9 p.m. after dinner watch television and want to see either Miami Vice or Emergency Room. I enjoy it and I need it, but not all day. So, could the huge success of the novel have anything to do with the fact that is dealt with a period of medieval history that's possible. But let me tell you another story, because I often tell stories like a Chinese wise man. My American publisher said while she loved my book, she didn't expect to sell more than 3,000 copies in a country where nobody had seen a cathedral or studied Latin. So I was given an advance for 3,000 copies, but in the end, it sold 2 or 3 million in the USA. A lot of books have been written about the medieval past for mine. I think the success of the book is a mystery. Nobody can predict it. I think if I had written The Name of the Rose 10 years before, 10 years earlier, or 10 years later, it wouldn't have been the same. Why it worked? Why it worked at the time is a mystery. So this was all about this chapter mean. I hope you have understood the interview of Umberto Eco. Okay, so this is very interesting chapter. So have a look about the vocabulary. Invention means creation. Commonplace means known to all or ordinary. You can say journal. Journalism, the press, profession of reporting, patrakarita, journalism. Literate means literate means sorry literate means educated. Repeatedly means again and again. Merit means virtue. Considerably means enough. Extravagant means exaggerated. Form means structure. Unwarranted means unjustified. Intrusion means interference, dakhalandazi. Interference, intrusion. Loose, drop. Consented. Consented means agreed. Acquaintance means somebody known. Persistent means determined. Or autograph, signature. Relate means connected. Satisfaction means contentment. Amusement means entertainment. Express means to make known. Attitude means viewpoint. Wreck means to ruin. Refuse means say no. Immoral means against morality. My person means my of myself. Assault means attack. Vile means unpleasant. Perpetrated means did commit wrong. Ordeal means difficult test, or consent means approve. Windpipe, you can say. Trachea सांस नली. Medium, away. Impression means idea. A moment, very important. Hold, keep. Influence, effect. Extract, part, or you can say excerpt. Acquire, to get. Formidable, hard to win. Scholar, a wise person. Interpretation means explanation. Fiction means novel. Upanyas, fiction. Text, written material. Text. Output, production. Equivalent, equal. Intellectual wise, million, 10 lakhs. 1 million is equal to 10 lakhs. Remark, to say. Philosophical, related to philosophy. Peace, state of quiet. Eliminate, destroy. Or quality. Playful means frolicsome, lively, frolicsome, playfully. Quick, quality trait, you can say. Departure, deviation. Consciously, deliberately. Adopt, accept. Desertion. Desertion means research paper. Desertion, शोधपत्र. Desertion. Narrative, to story. By accident, by chance. Probably, by chance, or perhaps. Spectacularly means splendidly, शानदार तरीके से. Spectacularly. Bother, trouble. Participate, to take part. Identify, recognize. Stuff, material. Huge, big. Puzzled, confused. Trash, rubbish. Expect, hope. Cathedral, church. Mystery, secret. So this was all about this chapter mean. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time. Bye. Goodbye. Bye bye.